no aesthetic issues, no training issues, feel great, 100%, praise God. So we are good to go.
So just shy of 310 pounds, and this is today. And the man intends to blow up even more after this successful completion of his rebound phase, which started after the Prague Pro, where he placed a very respectable third, and after securing his Olympia spot for next year. So prior to the announcement that was made by Martin and Samson that they are doing Prague, there was only one guy who was supposed to challenge and come out on top at Prague Pro this year. That was Keon Pearson, the 3 times 212 Olympia champion. And he was being portrayed as the biggest name going into that show, even against Michael Krizo. But Krizo beating Keon, that makes one thing very clear. Size will always rule the open bodybuilding. And that is exactly what makes Krizo one of the most dangerous bodybuilder on the planet at the moment. So he has got the size, the condition, and his back that has also improved tremendously, especially in the past 1 year or so. Now we always talk about the waist on Krizo, his wide obliques, and how that would totally change the entire flow of his physique if he somehow fixes that issue, those wide obliques. And just today, Rolly Winkler reposted this clip from his competition days when he was wearing a waist trainer to shrink that waist of his, and he did that successfully, and that worked wonderfully in his favor as he ended up winning the Arnold and placing as high as top 3 at the Olympia. So Michael Krizo is doing that exact same thing as Rolly did. He has been wearing that waist trainer and he intends to compete at the Pittsburgh Pro and the New York Pro, which are happening right after the Arnold this year. So we are about to see the biggest and possibly the most streamlined version of Michael Krizo to step on the stage in summer of 2026. So he truly is the most freaky guy on the planet after Samson Dauda right now. Before you scroll or blink too hard, have you subscribed yet? Please don't make me bring out the emotional blackmail. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. It's free, it's painless, and that makes me look way cooler than I actually am. Next up, we have an update from the reigning 2 times Olympia champion, Derek Lunsford. So 8 weeks post-show, and Derek is easily pressing 5 plates on that chest press. So he specifically talked about the update regarding his chest as he suffered from a minor pec tear just a few weeks before the Olympia this year, and still being able to win the Olympia, the biggest show in the world, and arguably one of the most incredible lineup in the recent past, that will be remembered as one of the greatest accomplishments in Mr. Olympia history. Not to mention him winning the Arnold and the Pittsburgh Pro in the same year. So Derek did take the much needed break, some rest and recovery time from everything, including social media after the Olympia weekend.
Can always improve a little bit, but overall I'm very happy with where my health is at the moment, according to my blood work. All right, so before we pivot into this off-season series.
And the man is primed to go once again for 2026, and we are certain that he won't be doing this upcoming Arnold. So he just had a very long and a very grueling year, and he was on the prep for most part of 2025. And this might be the one where he goes through a real off-season, which by the way is going to be his first one with Chris Aceto as his coach, and they would want to make some major improvements. So talk about having some of the greatest runs in the entire bodybuilding history. I have to say Derek and Chris Aceto, they had a dream run in 2025. So Derek won all 3 out of the 3 shows, and that too some major ones that he did in 2025, which has been totally unprecedented in the bodybuilding history. So 2026 is gonna be that year where we expect the best of Derek to step on the stage at the Olympia in September. So there was also a huge story that Derek suffered from a heart attack backstage at the Olympia. So Chris Aceto already clarified on what really happened, and Derek also shed some light on what was the reason. So it was actually a panic attack, and his blood work after the Olympia that also came out totally fine. So I for one am very looking forward to see what Derek can bring and can accomplish in 2026.
Right now, the bad news is that it's easier than ever to lose money when selling your home in South.
So Rafael Brandao looking absolutely huge in this most recent update, and this one he posted today. So Neil Hill, his coach, he also posted a throwback of Brandao reminding everyone about the potential of Rafael Brandao and what this guy can truly accomplish if he puts on the size that is of course necessary for him to be pushing for that Olympia top 6. Now there is no doubt that this guy has one of the most beautiful shape in the men's open bodybuilding at the moment. So Chris Bumstead, when he was competing, he also referred to Rafael Brandao as the physique, that he's quite similar to that. So Rafael's ceiling that can be very high if he's able to maintain a lot of the size that we are seeing on him at the moment. Now do not forget that Brandao is the same guy who looked so incredible at the Arnold 2024 that the judges had to say that all of his mandatories, they are pretty ideal and he doesn't have a single weak shot. The fact is he just needs to add more muscle, more mass all over his physique. Now we have been pretty harsh on Rafael Brandao after he dropped out of the Olympia this year, but the fact is he was left with no option after being unable to eat and grow like an open guy because of that stomach issue. And yes, I know we have been saying that him even getting top 8, that would have been very difficult this year. But the fact is if he shows up with more size, more mass, he can be very dangerous. So all of the off-season physique updates that Rafael Brandao has posted, they all reflect that Rafael Brandao has been pushing pretty damn hard in terms of the calories, and over the years, he has been able to put on quite a lot of size, although it did take him about 8 years or so to be this big. But the good thing is that he was able to hold on to that small waistline. So he will continue to do that for the upcoming off-season too. And it's a very high likelihood that Rafael's name, that is gonna be on the official Arnold Ohio list for 2026. So this is Urs Galashinsky from yesterday, and this is him without any pump. So watching Urs transition from a top classic physique pro to a men's open bodybuilding competitor, and also being in that winner circle on his first try, that was the biggest shocker in the bodybuilding world in 2025. Because other than him and his team, nobody actually believed that Urs is gonna show up at his men's open bodybuilding debut and beat some seasoned veterans. Now that comparison of him with Dorian Yates, that was a bit exaggeration, as the one thing that Urs has been really struggling with, that is his back development. And Dorian's back, that is widely accepted as the greatest back ever. So this is him 8 weeks after his Olympia debut, and Urs is totally logged in for the big off season coming ahead. Now I'm not so sure how many of you guys noticed that Urs was in that same group of guys that had Hadi and Martin, and he stood in the middle of both these guys and he showed us how awesome of a structure this guy has. But this also goes to show us the difference in the overall thickness between a guy who was a former classic physique pro versus the top men's open guys. So will a one big off season help Urs Galashinsky to get into that Olympia top 10? Will that be enough? Well, at this point, we do not know, because until he goes through a proper off season, we cannot really judge. Now he did make some pretty impressive improvements in the arms and the back area in the past 1 year or so. And the thing that is on his priority at this time, that is his back. So Petr Wojciechowicz, one of the best talent that we saw in classic physique this year, he's looking absolutely insane after winning the Spanish Grand Prix and also securing 10 points for next year's Olympia qualification. Now I'm not so sure what his future competition plans are, but the man is looking pretty damn awesome in this update. So this guy arguably has the best chest development across the bodybuilding world right now. I mean, look at that chest and how that hangs. That is so damn insane. And not just that, the shoulders on him, the striation, the detail, that is just awesome. So this guy has classic written all over him. He has that super tiny waistline. Also the arms on this guy, the biceps, the triceps, everything is there. So the only thing that this guy has to work on, that is his back. And the only thing he needs there, that is more density, more thickness. And if he's able to do that, he's gonna be a top Olympia contender as soon as next year.